What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Built by Ball Twins education section. Today I'm going to be covering the most optimal split for you as an individual if you're looking to build the most amount of muscle possible. Now, bottom line is that we want to keep going back to the main point is muscle is built by a novel stimulus, and we want to be able to apply a novel stimulus to our muscles as frequently as possible in order to build the most muscle possible. So if you want to go in, the goal is to apply enough stimulus to cause an adaptive response of our muscles, but not so much stimulus that it's going to prolong the period we have to wait before we can retrain that muscle and apply that novel stimulus again. So as a good example here, I'm just going to take two training splits on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. So on one end, we're going to have a full body training split where you train every body part every other day. And on the other end of the spectrum, we're going to have a bro split, where we're going to split every body part. I'm going to do chest one day, back one day, shoulders another, arms another, legs another. And then next week we do the same. So every body part gets 1 day per week, and you have a whole week before you train that body part again. Now both splits are going to do the same amount of sets on each body part. So for the guy on the full body training split, it is, for example, 8 sets on chest, and that will be spread out across the week, every other day, 2 sets, give or take, per day. Compared to the guy on the bro split, who's also going to do 8 sets on his chest, but those 8 sets will all be put on his chest day. He'll do them in 1 day, once per week. Now, after the first 2 sets for the guy on the bro split, he's going to have a huge decline in performance because his chest is going to be fatigued, he's going to be tired, and the loading and reps he's going to be lifting is going to reduce on the further exercises that session. Compared to the guy on the full body training split, every time he goes in the gym, he's only got 2 sets on chest. He's going to be fresh for all of them sets. He's going to hit them with max loading and reps. So he's doing the same amount of sets as the guy on the bro split, but the loading and reps across the week are going to be huge in comparison. So if you've watched the previous videos, you will know that the main driving force for hypertrophy is mechanical tension, which is the load we're lifting. So the guy who's got the huge load in comparison across the week is going to come out on top in terms of building muscle mass. However, both of these splits have a good place to play when it comes to progressing in our training. So back to that beginning point, we want to be applying enough volume to our muscles to cause that novel stimulus, but not so much to prolong our recovery. So as a beginner, the amount of volume you'll need on each muscle part to apply that novel stimulus is next to none. It's so minuscule, and then 2 sets on a muscle group is enough to apply that novel stimulus for you to grow. So a full body training split is going to be the most optimal way for a beginner to train, because we're going to be training every body part every other day. We're going to be applying a novel stimulus each time we do this, and we have plenty of recovery time, so 1 day off before we have to hit it again, because we're only be doing 2 sets per body part. Now, after a good amount of time of running this split, you'll get to a point where each muscle group will need more volume in order to expose it to that novel stimulus and continue growing. So staying on the full body training split would not be optimal at this point. This is where we progress to a training split that will put more volume on each muscle part. We don't want to go all the way to bro split yet. We don't want to be training once per week. So this is where we typically move on to an upper lower training split. So we'd have a whole day on upper, then a whole day on lower, then we rest, and then we repeat. So this way, we've doubled the volume on our upper body and we've doubled the volume on our lower body, because before we were doing everything in one session. And in doing so, increasing the training volume, it also increases the amount of time we need for recovery. So this is why we're training each body part now every 3 days rather than 2 days. So before it was full body rest, full body rest. Now we're going upper, lower, rest, upper, lower, rest. So training volume has increased to cater for our increased volume needs on each muscle group. But as a factor of this, we've also had to increase or decrease our training frequency, so train a little less, so every 3 days rather than 2 days. Now you run the upper lower training split for as long as you can make progress on, and at some point in time, again, we'll hit a wall with progress, as each muscle group will need more volume in order to expose them to that new stimulus and continue to grow. So again, we need to progress onto a new split which will cater for these needs and apply more volume to each body part. So this is where we typically move on to a push-pull leg split. So we'd run push, pull, lower, rest, push, pull, lower, rest. So now every body part is going to be trained every 4 days rather than 3 days. But it means my pushing muscles, my chest, shoulders and triceps now have their own whole day, so more volume on them. And now my back, rear delts and biceps have a pull day, so they've got more volume on them as well. So increased training volume to cater for our new needs, which has also increased the amount of time we need to wait before we can train these muscle groups again. So as you can see, we're literally just pushing the volume up as and when needed, and as a result of this, we're having to decrease the amount of frequency we can train at. And then at some point in time from the push-pull leg split, you must be fucking huge by the time you actually are going to progress onto bro split, which is the next step up. It's something which you really don't need unless you are absolutely massive and you have got a lot of muscle mass. We are not on a bro split, we are on a push-pull leg split, and so are most bodybuilders. If you are a top level athlete and you have a very complete physique and there are lagging body parts, this is where we would typically split body parts to add more volume to that specific body part in order to bring it up to add to the rest of the physique. But for the majority of people, when you are an advanced lifter, a push-pull legs training split should be kind of where you keep your training for a good amount of time before we progress onto that bro split. So in an ideal world, this would be how we progress. We go through that full body training split, onto the upper lower training split, onto push-pull legs training split, and then eventually onto the bro split. However, this is not how I recommend always doing it in practice. So for the majority of our beginner clients, they will not start on a full body training split. Just because what you need to remember is most individuals who start the gym don't have a goal of being Mr. Olympia. They're just trying to get in the gym, get a program which they can actually stick to. It's a huge lifestyle change. So the most important thing is having a program which you can enjoy and actually stick to and work at for a very long time. So all of these training splits, no matter which one you choose, is going to produce great results no matter what phase you're at in your training. And a training program you can actually stick to and do for a good amount of time and actually progress and get good and strong and actually get really into the gym and make good progress with is going to be the best one for you. So a lot of beginners will put on a full body training split and they will absolutely hate it. It's super repetitive. You're doing pretty much the same workouts every other day. Very taxing on the body, very long workouts, and a lot of people just don't want to do that. So a lot of our beginners, we will start on an upper lower or a push-pull legs training split. So bottom line is, if you are coming into the gym as a beginner, give it a go on the full body training split. If you are not enjoying it and you're not sticking to it and not actually getting really into it and putting the hard work in, then you might be better off to start on an upper lower or push-pull legs training split, just because you will get more results out of it, because you will enjoy it more and put the effort in. But if you are watching this and you are a beginner and you're looking to put on good amounts of size and progress through the training splits, we recommend doing it in the order we have suggested in this video. But thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.